doing what you know to do. Look, man, on this thought on the go, I'm just go ahead and get my candid thoughts, man, on the slap heard around the world. You know, it's really crazy how our society is now. You know, we will try to like literally politicize anything, which is the real issue that I had with the whole situation. Obviously, you know, Will Smith acknowledged that he shouldn't have slapped Chris Rock. You know, was it a distasteful moment? Absolutely. Did it make for comedic value? Absolutely. But by the same token, you know, there's a season of time for all things. So like the way Will ultimately handled the situation, by his own admission, he regrets handling it the way he did. However, you know, he did what he did, and you know, as a man, you got to stand by what you did and own up to your mistakes when the time comes, right? But my biggest issue I have with this whole situation, and I really debated on whether or not I really wanted to do a thought on the go about this, but truthfully, I mean, these are my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to sit here and you know, not give you my candid thoughts on the matter, especially one that has reached such a sway or variety of people as this one. At the end of the day, I don't think the situation merited the amount of criticism as well as bigotry and hypocrisy that has come. You know, I mean, Will obviously made a mistake. He apologized, but the amount of criticism this dude got for doing what he did by people who, you know, one minute they'll sit here and they'll chant violence is not the answer. Next minute they are advocating for, you know, just all types of crazy stuff, man, that's going on in the media. You know, people out here storming the U.S. Capitol. You got folks out here burning down cities and all this other stuff. And we'll say all that is cool. But, you know, the moment a man gets up on the stage on national television and, you know, he sits there and pretty much, you know, slaps somebody who he felt at the time was disrespecting his wife or whatever, we ostracize that man. We see that he is, quote unquote, the problem that we face in our communities and stuff like that. And I don't think that is a fair representation of who Will Smith is at all. If anything, the dude made a mistake, okay? Will Smith made a mistake. By his own acknowledgement, he made a mistake. So we need to treat it as such. You know, folks are sitting here talking about what he should have did and how he should have handled the situation. But let's go ahead and keep some things into perspective. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and say it once again. These are my candid thoughts. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to, you know, DM me about your opinions or whatever, because quite frankly, and I say this respectfully, I don't really care. You know, the man had, you know, a reason to do what he did. And it's not really my place to sit here and say what he should have did and how he should have handled the situation, because it's easy for somebody like me and you to sit there from the doggone bleachers. I mean, we ain't even on the front row. We don't got courtside seats to the matter. No, we in the bleachers, and we sitting here talking about what that man should have did. And you know, my thing is, at the end of the day, Will Smith is human, just like all of us are human. And so in his humanity, he had a moment. He had a moment where he felt like, you know, certain lines had been crossed. And, you know, if we just gonna be very candid about it, I think anybody who kind of has any analytical sense about themselves understand that the slap, you know, it really didn't just come from a place of that man making that joke. Even though, it, you know, again, it wasn't as malice as we may as we may hear it on the surface level, it wasn't that malice of a joke. However, I think just dealing with the media pressures, the societal pressures that Will Smith has been under for the past year, man, with him and Jada, I think all that stuff was just really getting to him. And so here it is, Will now being a nice guy, and I want to emphasize that. I think Will Smith is a nice person, or he has nice guy tendencies. Anytime you'll sit there and let your wife come on national television and sit here talking about, what another, and I know I'm laughing a little bit, but, and the reason why I'm laughing is because it's just, sometimes, again, going back to my initial statement, we live in a very strange society. You talking about social media age, boy, being extremely interesting. Nevertheless, you got a grown man now who comes on and let his wife go on national TV talking about how, another man made her feel, and basically justifying why it is she stepped out of the marriage. Now, I'm not even gonna go into none of that because of the fact that, they going on record saying they had like a little agreement or whatever, and I don't subscribe to how they did that, but that's their business, you know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, any guy that is allowing his wife to speak candidly like that, and really putting him in a bad light on national television, no matter if he's trying to make like little jokes talking about I'm gonna get you back and all of that on TV, there is definitely some nice guy tendencies there. And so, with him being a nice guy, the problem that a lot of nice guys will face is ultimately when they are faced with a moment where it's like they're always getting picked on, or they're always getting looked over, or what have you. When they do explode, or when they do snap, they snap big. And so, yeah, Will Smith, I think, really, as a combination of the frustration and the pressure he's been under, he got up there in front of millions of people and went ahead and slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth, even if it was for a moment. Chris Rock was very professional, and that's what my hat goes off to him. He was extremely professional after Will Smith literally went clean across his face. He was able to catch his balance and everything, and to continue to perform without missing a beat. But nonetheless, it was still a situation that I think both men, looking back on it now, really wish didn't happen. And so, with that being the sentiment when it initially happened, I think it's completely screwed up how the media and society is literally trying to drag this man for making a mistake. And it wasn't like it was a detrimental mistake. I mean, the dude, it's going to be left in the court of public opinion. But you can argue he was defending his honor, the honor of his wife, by going up there and smacking Chris clean in the face. Or, you can sit here and just say dude was just reacting out of emotional frustration. Whatever the case may be, dude did not tarnish his legacy or damage the positive contributions that he's given to the world, and especially the black community as a whole, because he went up there and slapped Chris Rock for those reasons. Now, again, going back to what I would initially said, people out here talking about violence is never the answer, and I agree with that. But we got to keep it all the way 100, man. We can't sit here and try to ostracize somebody like a Will Smith when we know good and well, what we are promoting in our society, what we are promoting in the media when it comes to how to handle political matters or certain injustices. These are the same people who, if Dr. King was still alive, man, as much as we praise him today, would have thought he was a punk or thought he was weak because he went the nonviolent route. So again, I'm just like over this whole hypocrisy, man. Like, you guys try to sit here and try to really make something bigger than what it really is, And Will Smith, like I said, I think he's a great guy. I think going back to the whole Chris Rock situation, I think it'll probably be wise for a lot of these comedians, especially when they're hosting huge award shows like that, to kind of clear certain topics before addressing them. Now, and when I say clear certain topics, it's more or less like about individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like not necessarily, an entire people group or what have you, but just more or less making sure like this is okay because, from my understanding, there was already beef there. There was already an issue there between Jada and Chris Rock. So it ain't like it just happened out of nowhere. Like this was something that was already kind of in the making. It was already in the pot, and it literally boiled over, on live television, And so that's something that they can kind of leave what's the word I'm looking for? They can leave that on the table for the next time they decide to do the Oscars or whatever. But y'all need to leave Will alone, man. Give that man a break. He didn't do nothing that some of y'all would not have done, in all honesty. And that's the truth. Like, some of you guys and again, I'm not dissing you personally, but I'll just say it like this. Will Smith, on the surface level, confronted that issue. Even if it was about his wife and stuff, he confronted it like someone from a lower class of life would confront it. Okay? And, it's not cool, again, to be putting your hands on other people unmerited or uncalled for. However, I'm not going to sit here and completely criticize a man that I clearly understand why he did what he did. And on top of that, I thought, his skin got a little purple for a second. I thought it turned purple for just a split second, but that was probably just the makeup or something rubbing off his face. Will, he went clean across there, man. He pulled back and literally went clean across that man's face. He knocked him off balance for a second. Nah, but that's just me making a little humor of the situation. But again, in all seriousness, we got to understand that these people are human and they are going to make mistakes. If you are in that situation with the pressure that man was facing, ain't no telling what you would have done. You can sit here and say how you would have handled it and all that, but you ain't him, and some of y'all probably won't ever be in a situation like that, to be honest with you. So, it is what it is. But by the same token, if you really care about somebody like that, if you are concerned about them, especially those of you that's, you're in the faith community or whatever, just pray for him. Like, pray for his family. And the dude obviously going through a lot. Y'all sitting here criticizing him being comforted by people like Denzel Washington, who spoke, some good advice to him. Y'all sitting here criticizing him, people like him and Tyler Perry, for coming up to him and everything, and and comforting him when clearly that man going through something mentally. So that was the right move on their end. It was the right move. Y'all acting like, oh man, Will Smith, he deserved to be in jail. He deserved this. He deserved that. Look, at the end of the day, Chris Rock did not press charges. So again, that's a matter between them, And I don't think this is really gonna set the tone for other people to follow in Will's footsteps. I don't think people with a rational mind are going to start thinking it's okay to just slap people in public that you feel like disrespect you. Nevertheless, you're still gonna have people that feel like there are moments where that is called for, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that those moments aren't called for at certain times. But we gotta give Will a break, man. The man won his first Oscar. in spite of all the criticism. And this is the beautiful thing about it. Well, not the beautiful thing, but this is the reality of the situation. A lot of y'all criticizing that man was going to criticize him regardless of whatever he did. You know, like, I don't think it would have been as heavy of a criticism if he didn't respond the way he did to the whole Chris Rock situation. But a lot of y'all who are kind of like enemies of this dude have kind of like marked yourselves as enemies of him regardless of this situation. Like, he was already kind of like a weak dude in a lot of y'all's eyes. So, you know, on that note, man, I think both men are great. Both men have made a positive contribution, even though, you know, that comedy sometimes can be a little raunchy or what have you. Both men are still pretty solid in my book. So, you know, keep a lot of this stuff in mind the moment you begin to, you know, try to take sides on certain things. Or like, that's what I'm saying. It's like we'll become so divisive, and like, as a people, and it be on stuff that don't really merit all that. Like, I think the slap situation personally was kind of a situation where you had two grown men that had an art, and they went ahead and took care of it. But then after it happened, you know, folks were trying to make it into what they wanted to make it into. What kind of man is going to sit here and criticize, or he's going to turn up when his wife at the Oscars being talked about, but he ain't going to sit here and turn up when she getting, you know, when she's sleeping with other men. And, you know, like, people try to do all of that. And again, Will's human. I'm sure he's heard some of this stuff, man. I'm sure he had a couple of people in his corner or whatever. Because you got to think, the guy that crossed him was one of his friends. So, one of his son's friends, too. So, it's like, you know, you probably had some dudes out there joking with him after that. Hey, Will, you know, can I have a turn with Jada? You know, can I, you know, can I get some of that therapy? She was, you know, like, I mean, and all of that stuff weighs on your mind as a man. It does. And so, again, he responded the way he did, and it's not really our place to be sitting here saying what he should have done and all of that, because that's just not, that's not really optimal in a situation like that. Like, he did what he did, and the best thing for us to do is just move on. Now, I'm going to see how many of y'all, since the man issued a public apology, I'm going to see how many of you people out here who were so critical of him. And by people, I'm not really concerned about, you know, the people out there who just kind of small timers talking. It's these people who got doggone influence, who be using their platforms to, like, kill folks, bro. Like y'all sitting here talking about, oh, well, Will Smith is left wing, and because he's left wing, he was able to get up there and slap some. I'm thinking, bro, you just trying to collect the check. You just trying. That's what I'm saying. And don't let these folks hype y'all up, man. Get y'all off center for some weak behind, you know, stuff. Like what is that? Oh, you know, like politicizing a slap. That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me, especially when it's in the context of another man's wife. We don't even gotta take it there. The man felt disrespected. Period. Ain't got oh, he left wing, so that's why he got away with it. Like y'all sound like clowns to me, man. And then y'all, you know, the religious world ain't no better, because you'll sit here and write whole articles about, you know, one of the articles, I didn't even read it, but I was just like, this is crazy to me. Talking about, you know, now that Will Smith has apologized, should we forgive him, or should we hold him accountable to show fruits of repentance? I mean, who are y'all, man? Everybody wants to be the moral police, the ethics police. This whole situation is an ethics situation. It doesn't define Will Smith as a person, in my opinion. You know, he just had a moment. He had a moment. Oops. You know, like oops. He didn't kill Chris Rock. He didn't do any irreparable damage to Chris Rock. Just the ego. You know, he just slapped the taste out of his mouth. That's all he did. That's all he did. So, you know, it is what it is. But we got to do better, man, as people, bro. That's the only thing I'm really concerned about. We got to do better as a people. Anyway, man, that's just my quick thought on the go about the situation. Like I said, I know it's a little bit different from what I typically do, but I felt like I needed to go ahead and just give my thoughts on this whole situation, just to kind of bring a little balance to the boat, man, because some of y'all were just going off the deep end, you know. Oh, if I was Will, I would have did the same thing. Yeah, no. And then the other people, oh, I wouldn't have done it like that. I would have, man, ain't no telling what you would have done if you were in the mind or in the seat of Will Smith. People already think you're a weak man, you know. So sometimes when folks feel like you're weak, they always feel like they can try you. And, you know, sometimes you do stuff to let them know that ain't cool. You know, I'll be honest with you, man. I love people personally, but, you know, you ain't gonna slap me. No, not at this age. There was a time in my life where I would have, you know, you would have done that and it would have been okay. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna take that sitting down. And I believe, you know, that I'm gonna be okay in the end. I don't think anything is in jeopardy, you know, as a long-term consequence. But when you put your hands on me, I'm gonna let you know, man, it ain't gonna go how you think it's gonna go. And that's a direct message to anybody who feels like, you know, they can do that and get away with it. You know, ain't really concerned about who you is. So, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave it there, man, because I can keep on going talking about the situation because it's such a interesting topic from the perspective of how the world is taking it. But I just look at two grown men having an art, and they unfortunately did it in front of national television. Folks saying, oh, well, Will should have waited until afterwards. Probably didn't have access to Chris like that. You know, a lot of these celebrities and stuff, they got their own little circles, their own security, their own everything. They don't have to interact with each other until they're in these shows. You know what I'm saying? So it's highly unlikely they would have even, you know, had a moment to do all of that. Oh, well, they were friends. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. Again, it's all speculative at this point, which don't matter. But, yeah, man, Will did what he did, and, you know, now we're here. But y'all get that man a break, man. He apologized. You know, I don't even think the question, especially if you're somebody who comes from a religious background, should we forgive him or not? I mean, that's crazy to me. Like, why is that even a question? Come on, man. Y'all wonder why folks don't be wanting to, you know, step foot in some of these churches or whatever. It's just, the mindset just so off. Y'all got such a bigoted attitude about yourselves. It's crazy. All right, man. Look, that's it. Y'all keep chasing, man. This was kind of like a little break from all the positivity and chasing, and I just went ahead and gave y'all some of my candid thoughts, man. Hope it gave you some perspective. I'll talk to you.